Hello, thank you guys so much for coming to this video today. I really appreciate it. I've got some really exciting news for you today. The recaps have been a little light lately, but today we're jam-packed with some news. So what is that news? It's going to be two of the largest projects that are building on Cardano have actually combined their efforts together. And that's going to be SundaeSwap and Cardstarter. I'm going to have all of the information about that partnership on this channel before anyone else. Nexo, they've also added staking, and they're claiming to pay higher rewards than SPOs. Let's take a look into that. I don't think so. Also, Greyscale adds ADA. If you guys remember 6 months ago, we talked about, the idea of them adding it. We saw some proof that they would be adding it soon, and they've now added it. I'm excited. Stay for the rest of this video for all of this great content today. If you do want to support the channel, all you have to do is click the like button, comment down below, and if you have never watched this channel before, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and click all to never miss any ADA news. This is my weekly recap. I do these every week. I heard you guys are also looking for a kick-ass staking pool that pays high returns, and all you have to do is delegate to Bloom Pool. We have Bloom through Bloom 6. Bloom is actually one of the first stake pools ever on Cardano, and you can prove that because we minted the 8th block ever in existence. And on top of your ADA for staking with Bloom, you also get paid in Bloom tokens. Let's jump into the video today. I forgot to mention it in the intro today, but if you have any questions about Cardano, just comment them down below or join our Discord community. We do Bloom token giveaways, and it's essentially 24/7 Cardano support, for anybody in the Cardano ecosystem. That link's down below for you. So the first bit of news we have today is Nexo Finance to integrate ADA into Nexo's suite of financial products. Users can buy and sell services for ADA on the Nexo exchange, yields of up to 8% interest, and the option to borrow against the asset at 6.9%. So what is this site? If you've heard of Celsius, it's a Celsius style site. It's where you take your funds, that you should have on hardware wallets, and you send them to a site, and like Nexo or Celsius, and when you send them to the site, they'll actually take your funds and loan them out, right? So what they actually do is pay you often in the token that they created, right? So for Nexo, for example, the only way that you can earn this whole 8% yield is if you're getting paid in Nexo token, right? So what they do is they essentially create, a token out of thin air and then pay that back because of the value that people are buying that for, because there is incentive to buy these Nexo tokens. So IOG rate here says that you can actually earn up to 8% interest for staking on Nexo. So let's look into that, because something that's beautiful about Cardano is the fact that you can earn a 5%, from staking to a pool like Bloom, for example, and, risk-free, because you can have that on your Trezor device. You don't have to provide it to anyone else. No one else has access to it. You earn that every 5 days, that return. So when someone says they're offering 8%, I ask myself, how are they doing that? Is it because they're creating a token out of thin air and using that value that they created to pay it to their customers? That's probably what it is. Let's actually jump into it, take a look at it, and see if they can actually offer higher returns than Bloom can. So I made an account on here, and we go to Cardano. Right here you can see you earn up to 8%, whatever you deposit. So we're going to go ahead and click that up to 8% and see what it actually is. Okay, as I expected, it's 4% right here, flex interest rate. So essentially, if you just deposit your ADA on here, you're going to be earning 4% on whatever you put in. And of course, that's less than Bloom. It's less than any other stake pool in the ecosystem. And that's where they got you. So when input output says up to 8%, they weren't lying, but you have to do some other bogus to get it, right? So let's actually look what that is. The first thing you need to do to earn another 2%. So this is going to put you up to 6%. So at up to 6%, you're going to be earning maybe a little bit more than some pools on the Cardano blockchain. But I don't think that's worth it. And we'll get into that in just a second. So to earn the extra 2%, you have to upgrade to the silver, gold, or platinum tier. I honestly cannot tell you what the extra, it's plus 2%. Yeah, plus 2%. So that'll take you right up to the 8%. And this is where the value from their token comes from, because you actually have to look right here. Really, it's 7%. Yep, so 5% plus 2%. And you have to have 10% of your portfolio in the Nexo tokens for this to work. So if you're depositing $100,000 in ADA, you have to have $10,000 in Nexo at least to get 7% from the earnings, and that's with the additional 2% being paid in Nexo tokens. So you're not even earning the rewards in ADA itself, right? And then let's talk about why this isn't worth it. It's because if you're going to be providing your ADA to someone else to loan out, they need to be, paying you a lot more than you're actually earning, because on the Cardano blockchain, as I just mentioned a second ago, you actually earn the ADA risk-free. But with this, there is a risk, right? You're providing your ADA to someone else that they can get hacked, their company can go down, that ADA can get stolen. It's not FDIC insured, right? So if you're going to be earning a return on Cardano, I really recommend you doing that on your Trezor, risk-free. And if you're going to be doing anything else that offers you more returns, then make sure that you're being paid for that inherited risk of having somebody else hold your funds. Because to me, an extra 2% or an extra 3% while also being paid in a different currency is nowhere near that risk. Nowhere near that risk. I'm curious of what you guys think down below. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Greyscale Trust adding Cardano. So we're just going to quote them directly from their Twitter account. Welcome aboard, Cardano. We've adjusted the portfolio of Greyscale Digital Large Cap to now include ADA. Greyscale Digital Large Cap Fund is a passive, rule-based strategy that seeks to provide exposure to 70% of the digital asset market. We adjusted the portfolio of Greyscale Digital Large Cap Fund by selling certain amounts of the existing fund components in proportion to their respective weightings and using the cash proceeds to purchase #Cardano. ADA. This table shows the fund's weightings as of July 2nd. So let's take a look at this. As of July 2nd, they're actually holding 67% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum, and 4% Cardano, right? So is this a big deal? Yeah, I would say it's a big deal. And I think it's the first step of Greyscale actually adding more funds. So I went a little deeper to see, what they offer. So once you go to their website and you go to investment products, I'll zoom in a little bit for you. And when you're on here, you can go to all products. Most of their products are single asset trusts, right? So as we scroll through the single asset trusts, we have basic attention token, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Classic, Filecoin, Horizon, Litecoin, LivePeer. These are the single asset trusts. And I think this is the next step for Greyscale, is to actually add, Cardano as one of the single asset trusts, because what it was just added to was the Greyscale Digital Large Cap Fund, right? And it's just a percentage of the large cap fund, right? And we can see that percentage right here as it's 25.39%, or no, that's the Ethereum one, but it's 4.26%. And that's just based on market cap, so it's awesome to see it there, but it's because Cardano's, we're usually fit 5, 4, or 3 as far as cryptocurrency goes. So that's obviously why Greyscale is investing in them. But I do see this percentage increasing. No financial advice, but very happy about this news. And I do suspect, the single asset fund coming very shortly. What do you guys think down below? How soon are we going to get this single asset fund? Is this a meaningful, announcement for you guys? Because we have, kind of seen this coming in the past. It really didn't do much for price. But yeah, pretty cool. Always happy to see anyone, adopting ADA. So this is some pretty crazy news. It's very interesting and also exciting for some. So 2 of very large projects on Cardano, perhaps the largest, they're definitely in the top 5, these 2. So you have Cardstarter and you have SundaeSwap. So real quick breakdown of Cardstarter. It is a launchpad platform like Occam, for example. They essentially give you the ability to do an IDO, the initial DEX offering. It allows people to sell their coins and they help these projects start. And then you have SundaeSwap. Well, SundaeSwap, I've had them on the podcast before. Pi, we're going to be reading a quote from him directly. If you guys want to watch that full podcast, there'll be a little card popping up right here. It was a good one. We raised some concerns. They answered all of the concerns, and it ended up being, in my opinion, a very productive and also educational podcast, right? So they're just trying to be a swap protocol on Cardano. And what that is, you provide 2 coins of liquidity to them, and that allows people to trade. So if you want ADA and Sunday tokens to be traded, you provide both of those tokens 2 liquidity pools, and this allows a third party to come in here and either buy ADA with Sundae tokens or buy Sundae tokens with ADA, right? So that's how it works. And then Cardstarter also had their own swap protocol called CardSwap, right? So they actually, I reached out to them, got some more information from them, and if I ever have any questions, they're always very helpful with me. So thank you to Pi for that, and also Mateen. So I'll quote them directly. We've met with them, and they're meaning Cardstarter, and showed them a peek under the hood and have impressed the hell out of them. We've agreed to be their DEX of choice. So they're stopping development on CardSwap and merging with SundaeSwap. And this is going to actually direct the TVL, and that's the total value locked in the protocol, so locked up in liquidity, they have to us on launch, and partnering with us for marketing, promotions, legal advice both ways, development expertise both ways, etc. Existing cards holders will be given First Nation status on SundaeSwap, earning equivalent rewards as Sundae holders when we launch. So their community is going to be taken care of as well. So that's something I have for people watching this that are very interested in SundaeSwap, very excited about it. Is that something that you guys are happy with or excited with? Because they essentially just said this other project, this other DEX project, is going to have First Nation status equivalent to Sundae people, people that have already been participating, not participating, but being a part of the community for a while. Is that okay with you guys? Are you happy about this TVL? Because we are getting, SundaeSwap is getting a very large increase in total value locked, to account for, cards holders also being First Nation status on SundaeSwap. And I'm new to a lot of this stuff, so I'm curious on your opinion, and that's it. So let's continue this quote. That'll let them be focused on being a launch pad and allow SundaeSwap to focus on being a DEX. And they're very excited about the deal. And they're stating the TVL right out the gate is going to be above 8 figures, potentially 9, right? And that's pretty significant with DEXs. And it's for one reason, because we talked about these liquidity pools a second ago. Well, the more liquidity you have, the less fees you're going to pay to slippage, and also the safer it is to provide liquidity. It all depends on the protocol. It all depends on the way it's designed. But I tried to buy some tokens that were a very low market cap coin on Uniswap V2, and when I bought those tokens, I raised the price, good 5-10% myself. And it's not because I was buying a large amount, it's because there was very little liquidity there. So I was paying slippage fees, right? So what happens when you have more liquidity is you pay less in slippage fees, and you also don't raise the price when you buy, a smaller amount. So people can actually buy larger amounts, right? And something else that was very interesting is Cards actually has, they're working on an ERC20 bridge that will allow you to not only bring over, cards, they'll actually allow from Ethereum, right? They'll actually allow you to bring over any other token on the blockchain. So I'm not sure how they're going to do that. We're going to figure that out either this video or the AMA. But let's dive into, what this means for, SundaeSwap, what this means for cards, also a little bit more on the total value locked. Let's analyze that on Ethereum. So just diving into Cardstarter for the first time, you come to their website, cardstarter.io, and then we can go to the app. And once we're on the app, it's important to keep in mind that this is on the Ethereum blockchain. Cards right now is an ERC20 token, and they plan on migrating to Cardano using the bridge that we mentioned earlier, right? So once you come here, you're going to have to connect your MetaMask wallet, and then the first tab is projects. These are going to be the live IDOs that they do, with also the upcoming IDOs, and then the completed. And we're looking at the completed here because the Jera wallet is actually one of the tokens you can provide as liquidity, right? So this is its own community. Cardstarter was its own community, its own DEX, its own launchpad, and SundaeSwap, this partnership is new. So that's the projects tab. The staking tab, it's providing cards for staking, and you get different tiers for this. And then also finally the liquidity tab, which is what we're interested in today. So once you come to the liquidity tab on cardstarter.io, what you can currently provide is, remember I mentioned earlier, you need 2 tokens to provide liquidity, to provide to the pools. So you have Jera ETH, right? And that's the Jera wallet one that we mentioned earlier. We have C3 ETH, and we have Cards ETH, right? So those are how many tokens would that be? So it's ETH. So it's really 4 different tokens that you can provide for liquidity, 2 at a time, obviously. So then let's talk about this TVL. We mentioned that for SundaeSwap, this is very beneficial because it's raising the total value locked for the protocol to, decrease slippage fees, and also, allow people to buy larger amounts. So right now, on Cardstarter, there's $57 million locked, right? Let's do a breakdown of the tokens too, because that is a dollar value locked. And as you guys know, in crypto, that doesn't always mean that value is actually there, right? So let's take a look at the actual value we have in here, right? And this is very telling to me. But we have the Jero wallet, the Cards wallet, the C3 wallet, and then the WETH wallet. And WETH is just wrapped ETH. That's fine. You have to wrap ETH to participate in these liquidity protocols or even to trade it. It's a function of ETH. But essentially what this means is, C3, Jero, and Cards, were all tokens that were generated for the purpose of IDO or for the other projects, right? So those three tokens, are very new tokens that were, just generated. So the real value here is, the ETH, right? So we'll actually, look at the ETH and see how many ETH is actually there. So WETH, there is $6,702,000 in WETH, right? And then there's $1 million in C3, and then there's $32 million in Cards and $841,000 in Garo, right? So this big announcement, this is what I'm a little bit confused about is how is this a big deal for, SundaeSwap when a lot of this value that is locked up isn't like a stable, isn't a coin that has a lot of value. Most of the value that they're actually getting from this partnership is in Cards, right? And that is a token that, Cardstarter generated as an accelerator for Cardano, right? So I don't really understand how this is good for SundaeSwap, right? Obviously, total value locked is very important, but that means they're only getting $7 million of ETH. And let's keep in mind, all of this value is on the Ethereum blockchain right now. So when SundaeSwap launches on Cardano, all of this value is going to have to be migrated over from the ERC20 to Cardano native token standard, right? So not only does the value have to be migrated over, a lot of this value is actually in ETH. A lot of this value is actually in the Cards, token that was just generated for this accelerator. So is that value actually, truly there? And I was looking at, a little bit further away, but let's go to the most recent one here at 5 p.m. So $45 million of the total value lockup is in this Cards token. And is that value actually there? That's for you to answer, because I don't think it is. If you take $45 million of these Cards tokens that are fairly new, that are fairly high risk, and you go try to sell all of those, on, whatever protocol they're providing this liquidity to, you're not going to be able to make all of that money. So the total value is not actually there, in my opinion, right? Because these Cards, all of those, after you sell them all, they're not going to be worth that much, So this is a very interesting partnership. I'm not sure how much of this is actually going to be transferred over to Cardano. I'm not sure how much Cards is going to be worth by that point. I'm not sure how much ETH is going to be, but this news is very important and very interesting. And I'm not going to really give my opinion yet, other than what I just said about the Cards, right? There's a lot of value there in Cards and not so much in ETH, right? Because the ETH is the value that I know is going to stay there. I don't know much about Jero. I don't know much about C3. And I don't know much about Cards. But that ETH is going to hold, a good portion of that value. No financial advice. But I don't know about Cards. So why is the most of the value here that's locked up actually in Cards? And how does that benefit SundaeSwap? And how does that benefit SundaeSwap's users is my question, right? And I'm sure I'll get a response back to those questions, but I wanted to bring that up to you and also get your opinion on this down below. What do you guys think of this partnership? This is a very big deal. These two big projects merging. We got $57 million in value here, perceived value. So what do you guys think about all of this? it's all very interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes, what comes of it. And I don't mean any ill will towards these projects. I'm a learner. I'm curious. And I'm learning a lot more about these IDOs and these projects, and learning more about SundaeSwap and Cardstarter at the same time. So if I mistake anything, just feel free to reply, and we'll make sure we put that in the comment section down below in a pinned message. But this is to the best of my knowledge so far, and I'm also curious on a response for what value does the cards add to SundaeSwap? So yeah, that's the whole video. I'm sorry it ran a little long today, but some long topics that we had to cover today. If you guys did make it to the end, if you type in Cardstarter and SundaeSwap merge down below, it would show me you made it all the way till the end of this long video, and it showed me I'm adding some value. So I'd really appreciate that. But I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I'm excited for everything Cardano, as always. Got a lot of stuff I've been working on with Bloom that I'm excited to share with you guys. I think you're all going to really love it. I think you guys are going to get excited about it as I am. So see you guys. Love you.